All right. Adam and Chris here talking a little sports today. Coming back for the podcast the second time around. Really, the first time didn't make it out to too many people, but no, we're working on number 2. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully you like it, and if you do, let us know. If not,
let us know.
No, I don't really care if you don't like it. If you don't like it, don't listen. I don't need to know. I don't need to know if you. What do I care if you like it or not?
If you like it, let us know. If you don't like it, don't ever speak to me again.
That's right. Pretty much. It's pretty much how it goes. Exactly. So what we were thinking about talking about to start this thing off was the old maybe get it going with a little NBA basketball talk. What do you think?
Yeah. In particular, the Cavs, the state of the Cavs, and then the trades that they made, and maybe the new state of the Cavs after that.
Which is way different.
Because nobody really covered that in the media. I didn't hear anything on ESPN.
I haven't heard a single thing talked about this trade. I mean, there were this trade, the multiple trades.
Right.
I mean, geez, Pete's. You think that this would be the number one thing in the media?
I watched ESPN for 24 straight hours. They didn't mention one word about it. They just talked about LeVar Ball the whole time.
Yes, LeVar Ball. Who, by the way, speaking of, real quick, what do you think about LeVar Ball?
Oh,
what's
God.
your thoughts on my man, Mr. Ball?
Oh,
big ball of brand.
Just
triple B.
A picture of humility and modesty. Just the most likable guy.
All honesty. What do you really think about him? Because I know you.
Not sarcastic.
And you will have very high impressions of what you think about this guy.
I'm trying to ignore him because he's a dope.
Like everybody else, basically. Yeah.
So I don't know. I did see a really funny thing yesterday though, where he and Kevin Hart interviewed each other in an ice tub. They each got in an ice tub, and it was really funny actually. I mean, mostly because of Kevin Hart, but that was actually very funny.
Dude, LeVar Ball is the one person that I've ever seen in my life who has taken 135,000% of his 15 minutes of fame and made everything he can of it. Good for him.
Sure.
I say good for him. I'm not sure about taking your kids to East Bufu, Lithuania, or wherever he took them, but I good for him. You know, get out there, make some money off of this. Your kids don't seem to mind; they just laugh at him.
Yeah, he is making some money, and it's weird that he is because I don't know how he deserves to. His shoes are like $350 or something like that.
$425.
Or
Pull it up right now.
And it's I just can't imagine. I don't know. It was one extreme to the other because no one liked Stephon Marbury's shoes, and he was selling them for like $20 at Stephen Barry's.
Stephen Barry's, baby. Hey, I got me a pair. Listen, you joke about that. Look, when I was
you did have some, didn't you?
When I was in high school, I didn't have the shoes.
Okay,
I didn't have the shoes, but they had, Steph wore them big, long shorts. And I wear basketball shorts almost every single day, and I can't do the new thing where they roll the waistband up and you got them up 4 inches above your knees, getting back to the 70s. I liked mine big and baggy, and I still do. And I went out to Stephen Barry's, and I bought like 4 different colors of the exact same shorts. And and those were nice, man. I like those.
Yeah.
They were like $4.18.
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you if they're that cheap?
Yeah. I mean, when you take that as opposed to our boy LeVar Ball, who's selling his stuff for $425, then yeah, of course.
Thank you for steering us back to the LeVar Ball thing. We almost got off on a Stephen Barry's thing.
All right. No more LeVar Ball. I'll take it off LeVar Ball. So tell me what's going on with these Cavs.
Well, they were in a tailspin. They lost the Orlando Magic most recently before their trade.
It's a tough game.
And then who's I think worse in the East or close to it. And then all the talk was about the effort from guys and chemistry
LeBron's not trying for the first time in his career.
Right.
Guy goes out there and still gets, I think he had 18, 5 rebounds and 2 assists, and he's not trying. He's not trying. Anybody in the NBA would love to have something.
Sure, yeah, but he averages like 3 times more than all of those things, so he maybe.
Very true.
I don't know.
Very true.
I didn't watch the that game, but yeah, effort has never really been a question for LeBron. But several people were questioning a lot of the other guys' effort, and the more I hear from people that covered that team, the more I heard the Isaiah Thomas thing was. Ended up being a really bad and even worse trade for the Cavs than people thought.
Windhurst was big on. I mean, he was not happy. I mean, he was big on getting on Isaiah. And Isaiah Thomas didn't help himself. I mean, every single game he's on the Twitter and all that stuff talking about how he's upset about playing time or whatever else. He did, talking about the way people play on the team, Mel. I think at one point in time when he got back, he had he was back for like 2 weeks, and he had the worst shooting percentage in all of the NBA.
Sure.
Well, until you get yourself figured out, why don't you just keep your mouth shut? That's what I say.
Yeah, don't say anything about Kevin Love if you.
I love Kevin Love. I feel so bad for Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Kevin Love he's the only guy I've ever heard in my life that gets so much he gets so much crap from everybody all the time from that team. Everything's his fault. He's not trying. He's doing this. He's doing that. And then he breaks his hand, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, my God, what are the Cavs going to do without Kevin Love?
Yeah.
Well, apparently he was no good. What happened to that?
Right, yeah. Right before he broke his hand, I remember seeing that Tyronn Lue said we need to reincorporate him, use him and go through, make the offense go through him a little bit more often, and then he broke his hand right after that. So, and I think right after Tyronn Lue said that, he had like 30 in a game or something like that, and then he broke his hand, and then he's out for a while. So, just like all of just like everybody on Team LeBron in the All-Star game.
Yeah, he's good. I'll tell you, this might be the first time that a team scores less than 120 points, and I don't know how long in an All-Star game. Like anybody cares. Yeah. Oh, it is. You know what? I love the dunk competition still. I know the dunk competition gets all kinds of. The last couple of years it's gotten better, but for so long it was the same old stuff. The big guys don't dunk. I still love watching a dunk competition.
Yeah, I normally do too. Last year's was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll have a year or two that's bad, and then they'll have one that's decent, and then they'll have a couple more that's bad. But it is still exciting. And I think this year's is going to be pretty good. I think they have some good guys in it this year.
I like this Larry Nance Jr. kid.
He's good. I don't know if we're gonna. Well, he's
first
my
ever father-son dunk competition winners. There you go.
Yeah,
1984.
Yeah. Denver
Nuggets. Larry Nance.
Let's do it. First ever dunk contest. Larry Nance won.
That's right.
This one might be his to win. But yeah. So Aaron Gordon getting hurt. Another guy that was involved in All-Star Weekend at least got hurt, and Donovan Mitchell, rookie from the Utah Jazz, who can get up. Dennis Smith Jr. from the Mavericks, another rookie. Those guys might not be household names for casual NBA fans, but those guys are super athletic and can jump through the roof, and it's always fun to watch. Dennis Smith Jr. 6'3". It's always fun to watch the smaller guys get up and do that.
Yeah.
The Nate Robinson years were kind of fun to see.
Yeah. It's gonna suck to have Zach LaVine's not in it this year, right? He said he's not in it this year with that kid and Aaron Gordon not being in it because they were the young guys that nobody when they were first in that dunk competition. Nobody knew who they were. It was the same old thing, and rookies or second-year players that nobody knows. But boy, I tell you what, those two were fun.
Yeah,
those two were fun. When Aaron Gordon jumped over the mascot. Put his legs up in the air and went underneath his ass.
Yeah.
His butt. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this. I didn't mean
under his legs. Yeah,
under his legs. Yeah. Under his legs. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
If both of those guys are healthy next year, hopefully they both get back into it. But yeah, now I'm thinking about all the guys over the years that people really wanted to see in the dunk contest that never, for a long time people really wanted to see LeBron in the dunk contest.
Let's be honest, that's the only one that's ever mattered. LeBron never doing. It would have been a walk in the park, and it's because of the way he dunks. Like some of the two guys can do the same dunk, but when you do it with the ferocity that he throws it down with, then that's what makes the dunk competition fun. When you hang on that rim for a second and it's bouncing around and you're jumping up, the whole place getting I love it. I love it.
Same reason I would still like to see Russell Westbrook in it too.
I mean, he that boy is mad at the rim. I don't know if that rim beat up his mama when he was a little kid or if the rim did something to his girlfriend or what, but he is not a friend of that rim when he gets up there.
Yeah.
Speaking of, they're looking good.
Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've started figuring it out a little bit.
They did. It took them a while, but they did. They've got it figured out for the most part, I think, and they're back in the discussion for possibly a contender to the Warriors. I don't think anybody's as legitimate a finalist candidate as the Warriors are still, but
sure. They're number one, they're going to be number one, but I'm going to tell you right now, Western Conference Finals, Houston Rockets are going to beat my boys over there in Oakland.
Cow.
In
Holy
O-Town.
cow.
And I'm going to tell you right now, and then Cleveland's going to come through, and they're going to get a tired James Harden. They're going to get an old man Chris Paul who just put everything they had into the Warriors. And my man is going to win number 2 for the land. Number 2.
Oh, my God.
For the land.
So they've got a whole new team in February.
Plenty of time. It's LeBron. He'll get him there. Just as it's like Calipari does with Kentucky. You just gotta get. They need about 25, 30 games. Once they get that 30 games in, they're ready to go.
Yeah. If anybody can do it, LeBron can, because he's used to, getting new teams on track, and it takes a few weeks or whatever. But he did it in Miami, and then he did it when he came back with the Cavs. So he can, and he does it within a season too. It's not like it takes a couple of years to get a new team together. It's maybe a month.
every title that he has, if you look at the team under him, I mean, yeah, there's 2 or 3 guys that are the same on the team, but for the most part, the rest of that team is different.
Yeah, and he had his guys that would play, Mike Millers and Channing Frys and
Mike Miller, which is he always has one of them on his team. So this year it's Kyle Korver. One year it was James Posey.
What do you mean one of them? What is that supposed to mean?
One year it was James Posey, a guy who just stands at the 3-point line and shoots threes. What are you trying to? Don't put me out there like that. Don't do that now. What is it? What do we make? White people always get made fun of. I got a black friend. Don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me. I'm going to send this to him too, so he hears it, so he knows what you think I was trying to say. See if he likes you. He calls me kid. It's my boy Rick. Hey, shout out to Rick. Slick Rick.
Hey, Rick. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Yeah. Big Kentucky fan, by the way. Huge Kentucky fan. Huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. Congratulations to the Eagles. 41-36 was it? 41-32, something like that. I don't remember what it was, but good. Nobody saw that coming.
So Kentucky basketball, Philadelphia Eagles football. It's always interesting to me, like LeBron James too. He's a Yankees fan and a Cowboys fan, and he grew up in Akron, Ohio.
Well, what are you going to be, a Cleveland fan?
Well,
come on, let's be real. He grew up in Cleveland. When you grow up in Cleveland, you root for everybody except Cleveland.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I guess I don't like the Bengals that much anymore, so that makes sense to me. Yeah, it's always interesting though to hear why people have allegiances to certain teams when they don't grow up in those cities. But yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I'm telling you, the guy grew up in Cleveland, and everything that ever happened to Cleveland. Okay, real quick, just to let you know, I got this pulled up. This is a quick side note. Stephon Marbury's shoe when it came out, $14.98. Lonzo Ball, $495.
Oh my gosh!
I love it. Hey, somebody buys them. Good for you, brother. He's only got to sell one pair of shoes for every 40 of Lonzo Ball or of Stephon Marbury's. Good for you. Go get you some money, kid.
Nobody. There aren't 40 people that want to buy those.
Straight cash. I mean, I'd give me a pair. If I had $495, I'd give me a pair.
I looked at them when they first came out. I don't even remember what they look like.
I'm going to tell you right now, basketball shoes in general anymore I'm not a big fan. I used to love a nice pair of high tops growing up. You know, I mean, I could never afford the Jordans, but all my buddies would wait in line for Jordans at the mall when they came out, and I'd get like some knockoff Converse or something like that. But I loved a nice pair of high tops. My wife calls them moon shoes. But now they're all mid to lows, and I don't there's some goofy looking things out there.
Yeah, I don't know how guys can play in those like low top basketball shoes. It's strange to me. Like a lot of the KDs and stuff like that are low top, and I don't know. Some guys say, "Oh, I'm gonna sprain my ankle no matter what kind of shoe. If I'm gonna sprain my ankle, so I'm just gonna wear whatever." And if they're lighter and more comfortable, I guess. But I'm paranoid about hurting my ankles, especially because I've done it a couple of times, and every time you do it, you're a little more susceptible.
By the way, if you're listening to this and you've never met Adam, this is Adam Schmidt here on the other line. I'm Chris. That's Adam. Adam.
Did we not?
I did, but it was a very vague introduction. Adam is probably one of the best pure shooters from inside the 3-point line. You can take a hula hoop and throw it anywhere inside a 3-point line, and it's a 99.7% chance, 99.764% chance that he'll make it. We did it one day. We put up 3,000 shots, and it came out to 764.
Yeah, because I missed one. I made 299,999.
Yeah.
So that's that. Whatever
and it was his first shot that he missed, so he probably could have taken one more.
Yeah, well, I was cold. I didn't
been 100%, and I told him, it doesn't count. You know what happens if you're a bench guy, and you've been sitting all game, and you got to come out and make that one big jumper. You don't matter how cold you are. You got to get out there and make a shot.
That's true. That's why you warm up before the game.
Big shot, Bob.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Shout out to Robert Ory. I don't know why. Just shout out to Robert Ory. Why not?
Sure.
Big shot, Bob. Let's go.
Thanks for listening to this, Robert Ory.
This episode of Adam and Chris on Sports, sponsored by Big Shot Bob.
Oh, he's a sponsor?
He's a sponsor. He gave us 37 cents.
Oh, that's not that great.
No. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. So
what were we talking
Lonzo Ball shoes.
Oh. Boy, that was a long time ago.
While we're at it though, so what do you think about this about the rest of the year? What's going to happen? What do you think about the Cavs? Do you think they're going to be able to pull something off here or what?
Yeah, I still think they're probably I like the moves, first of all, that they made, and they acquired Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance from the Lakers for Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye and a 2018 first-round pick. And then they got Rodney Hood and George Hill from Utah, sent Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose there. And
as long as George Hill colors his hair again, he's my man.
I'm a big George Hill guy. I think all four of those guys, Clarkson, Nance, Hood, and Hill, are all going to be helpful for this team because I like all four of those guys.
One of the worst defensive teams in basketball. Definitely not going to hurt having these young, quicker guys out there.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, and George Hill's been a good. He's not a score first, give you 30 point guard. Like a lot of other point guards are in this league, but he's just a solid. He'll play defense. He'll knock down some shots. He'll pass the ball. He moves it. He's just a good, solid point guard that you can kind of rely on, a veteran guy. And that's I think LeBron likes to play with those kind of guys because he's not gonna take shots away from LeBron. He'll be able to set LeBron up if LeBron doesn't start with the ball in the first place. But George Hill's a good point guard. To give you 25 minutes or something like that, and so I like that. I like Rodney Hood. He can knock down some shots. Jordan Clarkson can score. Larry Nance can. He's not a big scorer, but he can, and he's a real long guy. So he can use his length and his athleticism to be a great defender. Something they weren't getting from Isaiah Thomas or Channing Frye. So that I think they're going to be better defensively, like you said, and I don't think they're going to lose a whole lot of offense because Isaiah Thomas wasn't giving them a ton of offense. Jay Crowder wasn't giving them a ton of offense. Derrick Rose wasn't giving them a ton of offense anymore. Channing Frye wasn't. Right. So I think they improved. And Dwayne Wade, I still like Dwayne Wade, but he is getting up there. He can still play. He can still give you a game here and there where he'll give you.
That was the whole point of him coming to the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
Was okay. Well, if we need, he's gonna cut down on his minutes, and then when we need that one game, he'll be able to put it in.
Yeah. Veteran presence and everything. But that was, I also heard that was part of the locker room thing too. Is there was, Wade and LeBron have that little click going, and not everybody was super excited. J.R. Smith wasn't real excited when Dwayne Wade came because he was going to lose minutes to Wade, and so J.R. might get going again too if he if that helps him mentally.
Once again, another guy I just love. I love
J.R. Smith. Yeah, I used to not, and he's grown on me since he's been with the Cavs.
So real quick question for you, because this is probably the question that I have more than anything about this Cavs team. Tristan Thompson, or Tristan Kardashian, whatever you choose to call him. With this baby on the way, I don't think it's here yet. With this baby on the way, like has he put on the pregnancy? They say that dad puts on a few lbs too. No, mama's probably still working out. She's on her workout videos all day, every day on the chat snap, but. What do you think? You think Tristan Thomas is once his baby comes, maybe he'll actually play a little bit?
No.
There you go. Good question. Good question. One of my favorite things about having a baby is
what's that?
Changing their diaper. I have twins, and changing poopy diapers is probably my favorite thing to do.
Well, that makes one of you.
You ever changed a poopy diaper before?
I haven't.
You don't like pooping in anywhere except for your house, so I'm sure you've never pooped. You've never changed a poopy diaper before.
Yeah, I don't think I might have changed like my sister's when I was 8.
No chance.
She was
There's no chance. When she was 8, that would have made you.
No, when I was 8.
Oh, when you were 8.
When I was 8 and she was like
born?
0. Yeah.
There's no chance.
No.
I guarantee you never changed her diaper.
I don't think she was in diapers when she was 8.
No.
So yeah, I did.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Good call. Yeah. I don't know. Jen was late bloomer from what I remember. I think she used to chew her orange juice when she was a little baby. So I don't know.
Her orange juice.
Yeah, I remember that. You don't
No,
remember?
we didn't have pulp in our orange juice when we were little because I refused it.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
This is coming from the guy who eats cheese conies and ice cream every single day for dinner. That's the only thing he'll eat.
Well, what else is there?
Oh, that's a good point. So anyway, all right. So yeah, that's I agree with you. But do you think the Cavs will make a run then? Do you think that with this team they'll be able to get through the East even with Kyrie and that whole Celtics clan?
Yeah, and Toronto is actually number 1 in the East right now, I believe. So
nobody ever gives them love because Lowry's gonna choke when it comes to playoffs like he does every single year. Every single year.
They've disappointed in the playoffs, and they've been one of the top. Yeah, they've been one of the top 3 teams in the East for 4 years or something now, and yeah, they haven't achieved anything real yet. But Tristan Thompson's only playing 21 minutes a game. Looking for his game log, but I think he's kind of played his way out of the picture. He was averaging last year. He would give you like 8 offensive rebounds and 3 defensive rebounds a game, and that was incredibly valuable because he got him a lot of extra possessions because of his ability to rebound on the offensive end better than anybody else in the league. This year he's averaging a total of 6 rebounds a game, and that's 6 points and 6 rebounds, and he's really not giving them anything else. It's he can't shoot free throws. I don't know. He has not been the same Tristan Thompson as last year, and he's kind of played his way out of the lineup because of that, I think.
So who's gonna win? Who's gonna win the East? Who's gonna be in the finals out of the East?
The finals in the East, I think, will be Cleveland and Boston.
I'm taking Cleveland.
I'm torn on it. because I
You
think
got time. We're on with the All-Star break.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, yeah.
What about okay, so then the West right now. What do you got in the West?
The Warriors?
Well, I already told you what I think.
Right.
So.
Yeah. The Rockets are good. I don't know if they're going to be. Mike D'Antoni teams are, all those Phoenix Suns teams were how the Rockets are now. Win a ton of games, score a ton of points, and then in the playoffs, everybody has to start. Everybody has to play defense, has to play better defense, and it's teams figure them out. I mean, it's you slow them down a little bit, which is all you can do with James Harden. All you can do is try to slow him down a little bit. He's still going to give you 30 and maybe even more in the playoffs, but you have to figure out how to not let anybody else beat you. And they're more equipped this year than they have been in the past. They do have Chris Paul, and he's still a great player. And they've got shooters around him and stuff like that. They tried to build that team to make it a Mike D'Antoni team to outshoot you and outscore you, and they will, and they have a chance to win in the playoffs, but they're not. I don't think they're as good as the Warriors still. And they're just the Rockets. It'll probably be Rockets and Warriors in the. I never want to sleep on the Spurs, but they got to get Kawhi back and healthy and going again and happy, I guess, because apparently he wasn't. So they got to get that figured out.
That'll be fine. He'll get that. He's going to turn that around. That'll be fine.
Yeah, I hope so.
They'll be right there, ready to go.
So yeah, I still think those are the best three teams in the West, and I don't know. It'll be fun, but I think it'll be Warriors and either Celtics or Cavs in the finals.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's switch it over. Let's get off the NBA and let's go to what I love, what I have never been more excited about in my entire life. Let's go into college basketball because this year I am a huge Xavier nut, season ticket holder. My Xavier Musketeers, yes, my Xavier Musketeers. I don't care what you say about if I didn't play for them. They're my Xavier Musketeers.
I agree. You're the biggest Xavier. I know quite a few really big Xavier fans, and you're the biggest one I know.
So my Xavier Musketeers are currently ranked 5. Purdue has now lost. Purdue won that game the other night, didn't they? Against Michigan State.
Yes.
All right. So on Monday when this all flies back around here, Xavier's going to be ranked 4th in the country, the highest ever. And nobody wants to hear about Xavier. We won't talk just about Xavier, but I'm going to talk about him because I love him. Mm-hmm. So right now, projected as number 1, you got a possible 2 Big East teams projected on a number 1 line. No chance that happens because they play each other on Saturday, which will be an absolute blast. It'll probably be 2 versus 4. But besides that, what do you think about what's your take? What do you think about this year's college basketball scene? Because the top 5 teams are all, none of them are this one and done freshman style teams. I think Xavier, of the top 5 teams, I saw a stat the other night, 20% of their minutes go to freshmen, and that's the highest amount of any of the top 5 teams.
Wow. That surprises me.
Scruggs and Marshall have been playing a lot lately.
Yeah. They're still a veteran, a senior-led team. So
they got 4 seniors that are leading. All 4 are leading in every category.
Right.
Except for assists.
Yeah, I just realized actually earlier today that it is exactly 1 month from Selection Sunday.
So awesome.
One of the most exciting, the second most exciting day of the year, because the most exciting day is that first Thursday of the tournament.
That is I take off. I used to take off work. Now I just take customers out for the first couple days. But Thursday and Friday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. First weekend of that tournament are my absolute favorite 4 days of the year.
Agreed. That's the one of the biggest reasons that spring is my favorite, because you have the NCAA tournament. You're getting down to the end of the season and close to the playoffs for the NBA and spring training.
Spring training baseball. That's
up.
For a whole nother podcast.
That is. But anyway, yeah. So we are a month away from Selection Sunday, which isn't that far away. Xavier's only got 5 games left the regular season before the conference tournament. And that's the other thing. Conference tournaments are just as good as a lot of times are just as good as the NCAA
100%. I mean, the weekend before or the week before is just as fun. But the problem is it's during the week, and it's during the day, and it's not the first weekend of the tournament, so everybody's taking that weekend or that week off. So the Thursday, Friday that week, so they're not really taking it off. But it is way just as much fun for sure. That Big East game just reminds me, every time I think of it, I think of that Syracuse UConn game, the Big East. What was that? It's probably going on 10 years ago now. The 4 overtime game.
I think it was like
Kemba Walker. Oh my gosh, well, unbelievable.
Yeah, I actually I bought that on DVD. That game. I'm not a fan of either team. I bought that game on DVD.
So I am sitting up. I lived with a buddy of mine. My wife and I were engaged, and we lived with a couple friends in a house, and we're sitting up watching it, and the girls went to bed, and we stayed up and watched that entire game. I think we turned it on in the second half, and then I think I watched 2 more basketball games because of how long it took. And that was one of my favorite games. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a fun game. So yeah, and that's you get those kind of games in the conference tournaments, and that's why it's so much fun. You get like basically March Madness starts then. It's in that first weekend or
What's
whatever
your March Madness ritual? What do you do? What is the thing you do every year during March Madness? Everybody's got something they do. They go to a certain bar. They go to Vegas. They get with a group of buddies. What do you do every year for March Madness?
Kind of the same as you. I used to take off work like half days that Thursday and Friday, and I don't do that anymore, and I won't be doing that this year because I'm working a new job. So, but I will go. That's nothing to congratulate me about, but thank you. But yeah, so I used to do that. Now I get home and I work all day, and then I get home and just try to plan on watching the rest of the night. Just spending time watching all the games, and a lot of times
fall asleep on the couch.
Fall asleep on the couch. Yeah, it's just making sure I try to clear my schedule and make sure I don't have anything else planned. Sometimes that doesn't work out.
So forever, what I used to do was, because that's right when Girl Scout cookies come out, like a week or 2 beforehand. So I get my Girl Scout cookies, the tag-alongs, the cookie with the peanut butter on top, covered in chocolate.
Yes, they're my favorite kind.
No, are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
Dude, so, all right, so my trick, and I'm so excited right now. Is there is none. I got 4 boxes of those every year. So you just take a little nibble. Takes
me 10 minutes to eat all of them.
But you take a little nibble off of a corner of one. Okay? Dip that into the milk. The milk soaks into where you took that nibble, but that chocolate surrounding holds the milk inside, so it's not like a Oreo that falls apart in your milk. Oh my gosh! And you pull it out, and it's still a whole cookie, but the inside is milky cookie. There's peanut butter, chocolate. Oh my gosh! It's like an orgasm in your mouth.
Oh god. Milky cookie. That's what you said.
Yeah. Well, when you why you dip your cookie in milk? That's a milky cookie.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So what I do is I get my 4 boxes. This is what I used to do before I started going out for it. So I get my 4 boxes of tag-alongs, stack them up in front of me. I get a half gallon of milk, bring that down with me, and then I go to La Rosa's and I get a baked royal. 2 baked royals usually. Well, that's my lunch. I mean, it's gotta last all. It's a long day. But to start off, I got my baked royals, 2 baked royals. Take one down, have a box of tag-alongs and some milk. Wait a little bit, eat the second baked royal at dinner time.
Wow.
Box of tag-alongs, and then the rest of that night's just tag-along and milk, tag-along and milk.
Huh.
And let me tell you, the
great.
deuce that gets dropped the next morning, by the way, might be one of my it's the best deuce of the year. That's another reason I love it so much, because I can have the best poo of my life.
You can indulge yourself and overindulge yourself, and then feel like you just lose it all at one time.
Oh, it's so great. Oh my God, it's so great. I am a Like poop is my favorite thing. It's one of my all-time favorite things. And when I have the chance, I'm a 2 poop a day kind of guy. Morning. And real quick, side note. Sure. I know side note of poop to another side note of a side note of poop. So lately, tell me if this ever happened to you.
Okay.
Lately, for like the last it might be 2-3 months now, I will wake up in the morning, normal thing, wake up, go downstairs, make a cup of coffee, have some coffee, go straight to the Deuce room, throw a curveball, and when it's done, I go up, take a shower, and I'll be in the shower, and I'm like, I get a little bubble gut going, and I'm like, what is going on? Number 2 comes like almost immediately right out of the shower, like I didn't finish, and I take my time in there. I mean, I get done. My first one, I get done. I mean, there's nothing left.
Wow.
But number 2 rolls right back around.
So do you think that first one is from maybe the whatever you last ate the day before?
One good meal pushes out another. There's no doubt about that.
Sure. So then when you're in the shower, that second one comes along because of that coffee maybe that you had?
I just started drinking coffee. That could be man, nobody has said that to me yet. I've been telling everybody about this. You're the first person that mentioned that might be it. That could be it.
Could be.
Oh man. How many poops do you take a day?
You know, for a long time, it was 1 at the most. There would be.
How do you weigh 135 pounds?
I could go, well, not 135 anymore, but
138.
138 now, but no. I would go like a couple of days without going.
Was it because you were in awkward positions when you needed to poop, or?
No, I just didn't need to go, or I don't know why. I do not know why. My body does something with the food that I consume, and I consume all kinds of garbage.
You do.
I eat.
The guy weighs 138 pounds and eats nothing but garbage and never poops. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong with you, man.
There's a maja medical
You have a tapeworm. You might have the mother of all tapeworms.
She's built a whole city in there because she's been in there a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why I decided it's a female tapeworm. I don't know why I decided that, but I don't know if there are genders of tapeworms.
It would be the queen. I would definitely say that if
queen.
you had one,
because you said it was the mother. That's why I said
you got the queen.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
There's no doubt.
So I have the mother who's also the queen tapeworm inside my body. She's at least probably 18 or 19 feet long by now, but she's curled up, so she's like your intestines are that long, you know.
Yeah.
So she found a spot in there. Maybe she's just curled all around all the organs and stuff like that. But
gosh, I wish I had that because I mean, no, I don't. Because if that means that I can't poop, then no. And you know what? I love to poop. I'm on the road all day long, and one of my favorite things I've learned. By the way, if you're ever out driving, traveling anywhere, best place to take a deuce, drop a deuce, hotels. Go to a hotel lobby. Nobody uses the hotel lobby bathroom because if you're staying at the hotel, you got your own.
You have your own room. Yeah.
Hotel lobby, always clean. I mean, pick a good hotel. Don't go to like.
Unless you're a new couple and you're staying in a hotel and you have to go and you're not in that place yet where you're going in front of the other person. So you might have to get out of the hotel
If
lobby.
I'm in a new relationship, which of course I've been married for almost 10 years now, but if I'm in a new relationship, this has already been brought up on the first date. I mean, if you got, I might poop after we eat. We might be sitting eating. I've done it. Been on a date, sitting down, talking, and said, "Excuse me for a minute. I have to go drop a deuce."
No.
And yes, 100%.
It takes a special lady.
It did take a special lady.
It did take a special lady.
Twice
right.
I did that, and I came back, nobody's sitting there. But that's all right. Hey,
lying.
If you can't, no, you're right. I am lying about that. But no, I have got up and done that. I mean, dude, when you sit in them restaurants, sometimes it takes a while, and then they don't ever come with the check, and bubble gut starts going. In some of them places, oh my gosh, Red Lobster especially.
Oh my!
I bet I've dropped a deuce in about 5 different Red Lobsters, couple of them twice.
Oh my God! I've been to Red Lobster once in my whole life.
All you can eat shrimp? When they do all you can eat shrimp, you don't go to Red Lobster?
I do not. I don't eat shrimp.
Man,
I don't eat seafood.
One of my favorite things to do is go to Red Lobster, have all you can eat shrimp. Me and my buddy we've done it before where we went, it was me, his wife now, my wife now. We went to Red Lobster together and all you can eat shrimp day and both, it takes a while for her to come back. No idea where we left off,
And
but
continuing.
yeah, continuing now.
Oh, that was the best part of the show too.
Oh, I hope somebody heard talking about Red Lobster poops, because that's one. I'll tell you the story again just in case. I don't know where it stopped. I was in the middle when this thing looked like it was going off, so I'll just tell you that Red Lobster, all you can eat shrimp. Me and my buddy, his wife, my wife go, and check's not there yet. We both got to drop a deuce, so we both go, and had a little conversation while we were in there. And there's nothing better than to hear the giggles of people walking in to take a piss, and you're sitting in there talking to somebody next to you. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Oh my God. So for years, I avoided going in any public restroom to number two.
Yeah, drop a deuce.
And so I've grown out of it a little bit. So I've
Good
had
for
some
you.
situations.
Good for you.
I've had some situations where
Next time we're out together, I'm taking you to a bathroom.
Okay, that's the scariest thing I've ever heard you say. No, but so like I avoided for years and years and years, and now like, I mean, there's a whole thing. You gotta really carefully inspect each stall and find the cleanest one.
Put down. There's no piss on the seat. Just sit down.
You've got so. Don't tell me you don't put a layer of toilet paper at least.
No, I'll wipe it down, but I don't sit on the toilet paper, get stuck to my butt and all that.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, you have
that don't bother me none.
AIDS 17 times from public restrooms.
Dude, the stuff that I do, my immune system is so built up. You could stick me with a needle full of AIDS and I wouldn't get it.
A needle full of AIDS.
So tell me about your pooping story.
So anyway, I will do everything I can to avoid a public restroom still, but if I have to, I have to. And I think as I get older, I'm less willing to be uncomfortable. Like, growing up, I could hold it forever. But
Bad for you.
It's bad for you, but I did. But now I'm like, if I'm feeling like I have to go, it's time. I'm just like, it's gonna make me feel sick if I don't go for a while. So anyway, so I'll go and I'll do it at work too. Work is just as much a public restroom.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For me. And
best spot to poop is at work though.
Oh no, horrible! I hate going at work.
You're nuts.
I hate going at work, and I will change my whole. So I told you this off the air. I'm going to tell you it on the air. So just like a week and a half ago or something like that, I'm at work, and this gives you an idea of how I feel about it. So I go in. I have to go pretty badly. Okay, it's time. I can't wait. It's middle of the day or whatever. It's morning, I think. So it wasn't. Holding it for the rest of the day wasn't an option. So I went in. There's somebody in there. Okay.
My favorite. I love when there's somebody else
Just
in
at
there.
the urinal. Just at the urinal for
okay.
number one.
Okay.
I go in, so I pretend like I go in just to wash my hands. Wash my hands and leave. Okay, because I'm not sitting down in there. I'm not walking into a stall if someone is already in there. Okay? So, because they're going to know what I'm doing, obviously.
Yes, they will.
So, and I have a weird complex about that. So I wash my hands, leave, all right? And it's the winter and my hands are really dry, so every time I wash my hands, they get even worse. So, like, I'm washing raw hands, right? so I'm washing raw hands.
Why are your hands raw?
The knuckles are bleeding. No, the backside.
Oh, the backside. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it easy. All right. So anyway, I wash my hands. I get out. Wait for a little bit. Go back in. I'm like, oh, thank God, nobody's in here. I sit down, right? I sit down. I'm sitting down for like 10 seconds. Nothing's happening yet, but I realize I see a shoe. I see a piece of a shoe in the next stall over, right, under the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
So
ready.
like,
He's ready to go.
I'm like, no. So, and there are 3 stalls. He sat in the middle one, so I had no choice but to sit. And I didn't think he was in there anyway. So, but I ended up sitting in the one right next to him.
Okay.
If you go in and there are 3 stalls, you go to one of the ones on the end, obviously.
I automatically
can
pick the
space-
middle just so when I try when
I know
somebody
you
sits
do.
next to me, I make the loudest pooping noises I possibly can, just to see if I can get a giggle. Sometimes I'll even give a groan out there. Like,
Oh my.
I love it. I love. Yeah.
Holy
Oh, the
cow.
more splashing, all the better.
Oh my God. What you should do is take like a bucket of water in there with you get a good splash, and like throw some of that, a little bit of that bucket of water over the top of the thing.
Oh my
So that
gosh.
it gets on them and they think it's splashed out from your toilet.
That would be
The most disgusting
It's
thing.
hard for me to go over the top, but you might have done it right there.
Oh man, you have to try that.
I'm going to.
And then show me your black eye. But so anyway, so that second, so I immediately, to me, it's not I got to hurry up and finish or get this done. It's I got to get out of here. I don't care if I'm going right now or not. I got to get out.
You poor guy.
So yeah, so I have to get up and leave. But right at that moment, someone walks in to use the urinal as well.
Yes. So
I
you
can't
get out
walk
and you
out.
go, and you look at him and you go, whew, that was a good one. And you go, wash your hands.
Yeah, exactly the opposite of that though for me. So what happened was I just sat there, I just froze my body. And then waited. I was like, okay, I got to wait for this guy going, doing the number 1 to get out. I got to run out, wash my hands, and leave, and then come back later. All right? So 3 more people walk in to use the urinal. All right? So I'm sitting there for a while, not doing anything, because the guy next to me, in the stall next to me, is still there. Finally, everybody clears out. I get up, get out, wash my hands, leave. Come back later. Finally, the third time I went in there, nobody was in there, and I gave a peek under the doors actually to make sure, and so I finally went. It took me 3 times to go in the bathroom. One time I actually sat down and was ready to start, and it didn't work out because I found out someone was in there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That just amazes me. Good. I mean, it's each their own. It's, hey, not me. I'm the opposite, man. I'm walking out of that stall after I got done, and I'm telling everybody how good it was, and I'm washing my hands. I want you to know who was in there.
What kind of colors might have been involved?
Dude, when you walk in and smell that, I want you to know that was me. That was me.
That's the other thing is I make sure mine don't
guy,
smell too.
Yeah, you got those little oil drops that you
odorless.
drop in there, and then when you poop, it pops the smelly oil.
I don't know about
you never
that.
Seen that?
No.
I'm gonna look it up.
Wow.
You put it in the toilet before you poop. They're like essential oils. Drop it in there, and then when you drop your deuce, bloomp, your poop smell stays underneath the oil on top of there, and it's nothing but beautiful scents that come out.
Look at that.
Yeah, your deuces really will smell like
I
roses.
don't go to that extent, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just like the old urinal deal. I used to care about, little Elvis gets stage fright. You go to urinal, somebody standing next to you.
Elvis.
Not anymore. You want to look at this little thing? Feel free. I don't care. I gotta pee.
No, yeah, if I go in and the only urinal that's open is next to a person, I go in a stall.
There you go.
So
there you go. There's nothing wrong with that. So,
just for number 1.
Different for everybody.
Yeah.
You're the reason that I gotta wipe a seat off when I go to poop.
I make sure all of the pee gets on the seat.
You guys
I don't put any in the bowl.
Man, I know you guys don't.
You guys.
Yeah, y'all, you're number 1 in the stall, people. All you number 1 stallers, use your foot, lift the seat
I do.
up.
No, I do.
You're probably scared. Y'all
I
wash
do.
your shoes.
I
afterwards.
do. I do need to wash my shoes, but yeah, my shoes get AIDS every time I do that. But my shoes get a needle full of AIDS every time I touch the toilet seat.
Wouldn't affect me.
You're right. Not
right.
even a whole needle full.
All right, real quick. We only got a few minutes left
Yeah.
here. We've already gone pretty far overboard with this. Let's figure out what we think is going to happen this next week of college basketball.
Yeah.
Honestly, is ridiculous. There are some really good games. Well, it starts today. Since number 6 Cincinnati's got SMU today, and SMU at home is tough to beat. I know they're only 15-9 right now, and they are a tough team to beat at home.
Mm-hmm.
Their number 1 scorer, I believe, is out. But UC, the one thing about that UC defense is they let some of the good teams stick around.
Yeah.
And they can't get out in front. But they got the team to make a run.
Mm-hmm.
But it just depends on Jacob Evans. I think that kid is unbelievable. I want to see him exert a little effort in the beginning of the game instead of just trying to take it over at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, best defensive team in the country, right?
They are. Yes, they have 3 of the top 10 defensive efficiency players in the country. That's insane.
That's really good. Yeah,
that is very good. Very, very good.
That's a team that's built for a run, possibly in the tournament, because if you're that good defensively, now Virginia usually is too, and they usually fizzle out somewhere in the middle rounds or whatever the tournament. So that's always disappointing too. Because
it's the same. It's the same deal. It's that defensive team that lets a team stick around, and just because defense is so good and it's not a high scoring game, you let that team stick around, they got a better chance of winning.
You have to be able to score too, though. I mean, you can't only be a great defensive team and not be able to score the ball.
Very true.
Make sure we're still up and running.
We're still up and running.
So this is one of the funniest things, and we'll get right back to college hoops. But so our computer that we're using to run the audio thing is across the room a little bit, and every time the screensaver comes up, Chris is using a microphone on a long arm.
Got a boom mic.
To reach across the room and tap the space bar to open it back up so we can make sure we're still operating.
Well, we're in my little office here, and this it's very tight quarters, and I couldn't have 3 computers on my desk, so I had to put that one over there.
Yeah, we have a total of 4 computers going basically with the iPad and a TV.
That's right. I just did that for fun. So you got 2 games on what is this on Monday? It looks like here you got Oklahoma and Texas Tech, number 17 and number 7 at Texas Tech. This Oklahoma team with this Trae Young kid. Besides the fact that he's got the weirdest hair I've ever seen in my life, I don't know if he just wakes up and just walks out, because it's not like I don't even know how to describe it. It just looks like wet rat hair.
Huh.
You don't ever pay attention to Trae Young?
I don't ever pay attention to wet rats.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, yeah, so this Oklahoma team who was so good early, struggling, this could be a big game for them. Because if they go down to a Texas Tech team, that's going to drop them probably out of the, not out of the top 25, but it'll at least put them at the lower portion of the top 25.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Kansas at Iowa State. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say he's the best player in college basketball, but they haven't performed as well as a team, I think, as you would think they would with a guy that could average a triple-double probably.
He turns the ball over too much when he tries to become a point guard. He turns it over a little too much, but that's So Virginia at Miami that same day. That could be a fun game at Miami. A lot of guys at places where Kansas, number 10, Kansas at Iowa State, which Kansas will not be number 10 come Monday. But at Iowa State, this Kansas team that can't win a game at home, maybe they're better on the road.
Yeah, Kansas, you expect them to be really good every year, and they get that, preseason, they get that top, 5 or 10 ranking, and then they kind of stick around because as long as they win, they're going to keep moving up and stuff because they're Kansas. I feel like they're kind of a team that, along with Carolina, that their name definitely holds
100%.
And I don't think it's right, but I think it definitely is the case where they get ranked higher than maybe they deserve to sometimes because both of those teams have struggled a little bit this year.
They have 6 losses now.
Yeah.
And they're still ranked. Well, they're ranked 10th now. They had 5 losses then, but still 6 losses now. And West Virginia's the other one. They got 7 losses now, and they're still in the top. I mean, I understand that's a tough conference.
Yeah, that is true.
But the Big East is a tough conference, and but you're still looking at, it's just top heavy, I should say. That's a top heavy conference. There's a difference. Although St. John's, worst team in the Big East, comes out, beats Villanova at Villanova, and beats Duke. I mean, come on.
Oh God, Chris Mullins, Coach of the Year. It's like
Chris Mullins. He's not Coach of the Year.
No, he's not Coach of the Year.
I love Chris Mullins. That St. John's team would be better if he wasn't the coach. I'm sorry. He's not that good of a coach.
Yeah,
he's out of timeouts with 5 minutes left in every single game. Every single game he's out of timeouts.
Yeah, I just want to believe that he is some of the coaches that I loved as players. I just want them to be incredible coaches, and they're not always the case.
All right. Well, here's the deal. We're getting close on time. I got to get going because I got in-law dinner that I got to get moving to. Yeah.
Okay, so really quick.
Yes, talk.
Who Xavier? What seed are they going to be in the NCAA tournament?
It comes down to Villanova. They beat Villanova. They're number 1 seed. They don't beat them. then it depends on their run. Man, it's so tough. Right now it's tough. I hate these seeds telling people where you're at already. There's so many games that have to be played. We got Seton Hall on Wednesday, on Valentine's Day. Byron Larkin, Joe Sunderman, bobblehead. Shout out to those guys. I will not be at that game. But my dad will be getting me my bobblehead when he gets there. Nice. Shout out to the best little brother of a Major League Baseball player in the history of basketball, Byron Larkin. Anyway, I don't know. I hate doing predictions this far out. But what I'd rather say,
a few weeks left.
I know. What I'd rather ask you is this time we get back together next Sunday. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest switch up of this the rankings? What are we looking at? Who's going down? Who's going up? What are we looking at? Big downfalls.
Wow. That's really hard to say.
Nova has 3 of their last 4 games on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Villanova and Xavier both have to play each other, obviously. So
on Saturday,
one of them is going to lose. So probably going to drop a couple of spots.
But will you drop a couple of spots when if it's going to be a 2-4 matchup when they meet up? Let's say Xavier beats Seton Hall at home.
They might just switch. If Xavier beats Villanova, they might just switch positions.
Boom,
it depends on what everybody.
Boom mic time. Let's make sure this thing's still on. We're still on. Okay, we're good.
You're so resourceful.
Thank you.
But there's a top 5 team is going to lose, right? That's so.
Yeah. Has to.
Something's going to happen there. Now,
it's just like this week with the Michigan State Purdue game. Somebody has to lose, but you can't punish a team for that loss. I don't think. I mean, you can, but you're not going to punish them more than 2 spots.
Yeah. Right.
And
it will have an effect possibly on their NCAA tournament seeding. It could. I mean,
sure.
You're right. Villanova and Xavier are going to be somewhere between 1 and 3 or 4, probably at worst. No matter what happens in that game.
On the seed line?
On the seed line.
I don't think either of them will drop below number 2. At this point in time, I mean they don't have enough games left. At this point in time, neither of them I don't think they'll drop below a number 2.
Okay.
I mean, unless something crazy happens and they lose to Seton Hall and they lose to Villanova and they lose to DePaul at DePaul.
If they have another Providence game or whatever, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
there's just not enough games left.
How much do you think the conference tournament?
I don't care about it. I was talking to another Xavier guy earlier, my pops. Shout out to Randy Witt. What's going on, pops? Hey, I was telling him.
I spoke to him briefly when I was walking into your house.
Oh, and he was walking out?
About the same thing, yes.
There you go. So it's what I told him. If we beat Seton Hall and you go through and you beat Villanova or lose to Villanova, just as long as you win that last game against DePaul at the end, and then we got to the last one. I think it might be Marquette. But even if you lose to Villanova, I'm talking. There's another game in there after Villanova. I know. But either way, no matter what happens, you lose in the first round of the Big East tournament. That's it's not good. I don't think that would affect too terribly. What happens, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. What do you think about the Big East? I don't think the conference tournaments. I don't think those losses are as big for the top 15 teams in the country as they are for the 16 through 40. If you're those teams and you're losing in your conference tournament first round, then it's a big deal.
Yeah, definitely for the bubble teams for sure. That you play your way out of it then. But I think if you say Xavier loses to Villanova and wins the rest of their other 4 games left or whatever, and then loses to Providence or somebody in the first round of the conference tournament, I can see that being the difference between a number 1 or number 2 and a number 2 or number 3. I mean, I think you can certainly drop.
I guess the number 3 I could
just
see
because it's a bad loss. They look at bad losses
because at that point in time you'd be losing to, but you're still losing to at that point you're probably losing to, unless you lose to St. John's, who's could easily go on a run the way they've been playing, but unless you lose to St. John's, you're losing to an NCAA team. because we would get a bye in the first round of the Big East tournament, which would more than likely knock the worst 2 teams out, worst 4 teams out.
Yeah.
And then you're playing,
Probably
worst 2 teams out, 3, whatever it is. And then you would get into the next step, and it's you're losing to an NCAA caliber tournament team anyway. So
yeah, you're right. It could be a bubble level team, but and that was I think I just used Providence just as an example, but
sure. Well, we lost to them, so.
But yeah, right.
All right, so we're coming up on an hour now, and that's way longer than we planned on doing. But when we get talking, it just happens. I apologize.
We only got 10 seconds. We got to finish it
All
in
right,
10 seconds.
Here you go. If you like it or you want to hear more, let us know. If you think we should focus more on local stuff, let us know. If you think we should focus more on national stuff, let us know. Otherwise, be honest, doesn't matter what you say. I'm going to do what we want to do, but we'd still like to hear from you. All right, so that's it.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Have a good day.
We'll
Love
see
you,
you
Adam.
again.
Oh, see if I can use the boom mic to stop. I can't do it. You're going to have to get up and
I'll
actually
stop
stop it. All right, see you.